talk about a new group, short-term group that's being offered come January and February in the new year. And so Kathy Hill is here with me because she's going to be facilitating it with me along with her husband Derek. And the first thing we need to talk about, it's called Aging Faithfully, Purposeful Retirement. And so what was the first thing that came to your mind, Kathy, when we talked about that idea?
Talk about Social Security and 401ks and all that stuff was my first thought.
Yeah, and that's kind of normal, right?
Yeah.
But you and I can both be honest and say we don't know anything about that stuff.
Not a thing.
Right? That's right, because Bob
Don't
Patton,
ask us.
Bob Patton always been the guy. So
Yeah.
anyway, this has nothing to do with your 401k,
Nope.
investments, Social Security, Medicare, any of that jazz.
No.
Go see Bob Patton.
Yeah.
For our purposes, though, there is much to talk about in regards to this stage of life
Yes.
and making it purposeful as followers of Jesus. And I love that term, aging faithfully.
I like that too.
So that'll be really at the core of it. But we also want to connect folks in this age group from the church.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I contacted you originally is you represent that late 50s, early 60s age group where you're considering, hey, when might I? Yeah.
When do I retire? What am I facing? What emotionally, socially, physically, what's going to happen, and when do I need to? When do I want to retire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really a great, because that's what started this discussion for me in my own life and reading of books, was because I wanted to find out those issues for myself and
Yeah.
what does it look like once you've unplugged from your vocational life. So a couple great resources. One is called Aging Faithfully, the little booklet here, and the other one's called An Uncommon Guide to Retirement. And both of these authors, I think, are very accessible to anyone. And so I know you and Derek have been reading through them, and we're going to just use them as a basis, but not it's not required for the group.
Just, I think, good conversation starters. Derek has really loved this, An Uncommon Guide to Retirement book, and just approaching it with the questions we have. Well, how do I know what God wants me to do with the last part of my life? And how do I find that? And who do I do it with? And,
That's great.
yeah.
And that's exactly why we've come up with a format, too. We're going to be meeting on Thursday nights and starting with a soup salad, just a light meal together. But the desire is to get people around tables, talk about real life experience. There will be a content portion of the evening, but the majority of it's going to be interacting around tables and learning from each other.
And I've got to say that's partly what attracted me to it too, because I love the idea of meeting with my peers and figuring this stuff out together, talking about what we're facing and all of that.
Yeah.
I just think it's good.
Well, back in the day, we'll close with this, but I was 31 years old when I came to Hillcrest on staff, and you were younger than that. And all of a sudden, here I'm sitting at age 68 and talking about these issues. But what I appreciate is I know I have peers and friends from over the years at Hillcrest, but also new folks who've come to this church that I think this is going to be a topic of interest. So.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to meeting together here starting in January 12th on Thursday evenings.
Hope to see you there.